So nobody's supposed to know, and everybody will get their notifications, I assume. So we're going to base our attendance on the notifications. There are a couple of things I want to discuss, and it's why the video is called We All Know. Everybody knows. Everybody knows everything in Trinidad. Nothing is a mystery. Nothing is hidden. We all know. The reason things happen is because we're lazy, or we're hypocritical, or we're coward, and we let things be the way they are. But everybody knows. Everybody in Trinidad and Tobago knows. We are aware. We're not fools. We know things don't work the way Trinidad works. Nowhere else works the way Trinidad works. And you know how you could know this? Talk to Trinis who gone Sweden. Talk to Trinis who are in Germany and France and England and America and Canada. Talk to Trinis who are in China. Talk to Trinis who are in Japan. Talk to Trinis who are in Russia and Qatar and Dubai. Talk to Trinis who live in Africa. Talk to Trinis who all over the world. I have a lot of family in Australia. Talk to Trinis all around the world. And they'll tell you that things in Trinidad, how they run, that's not normal. That's not normal at all. How we run things in Trinidad. Let me give you, before we get to that, right? Now I want to touch on something controversial. Now you all know me. Normally I avoid controversial things, right? Right, that's a joke, that's a little humor. Let's take on everything. Once it's around and it's affecting us, I taking it on. Now I want to ask you to do me a favor. Right now, I want you to share this video. Only because, and I have not asked you to share videos for a long time, since after the election. But tonight, somebody thinks we're going to touch on, and I am going to share it now to my WhatsApp groups. And I am hoping that on a Friday night where the cinema's still closed and the bar's still closed, so the only thing sexy and happening tonight is me. Yeah. People who love you does vex with you properly when you expose their shit, you know. But as long as you're exposing other people's shit, love you bad. Love you like pig love mud. Love you like priest love acolytes. Love you like cat love holy water. As long as what you touching is not the shit that them do it, love you bad. Love you bad. Love you like how Dave Locks love Karaili. But love you like how Philip like roti. But when you touch them thing, you just hear things about yourself that you just wonder, these people, and I mean, they have, you all know the term social media, coined the term frenemies, that you have people that is your friend. Today, there is your friend, your best, your bestie, your buddy. And tomorrow, something gone wrong, and you disagree, and the amount of things that your bestie know to say about you, it's make you wonder if they was toting that all the time. And generally the answer is yes. They have a lot of patient haters, you know. They don't like you, but they keeping close to you just in case, one, they benefit from you, two, they get a little light from your shine, or three, that the best place to hide hate is in plain sight. So they don't want you to know that they don't like you, so they close up and they chummy with you. Listen, as Chalky singing the song, I ain't tongue too long. I ain't tongue too long. The first thing I want to touch on tonight is the banks. Now, Colm Imbert as the Minister of Finance, we all know, and the video is called We All Know. We all know that the government says that it is there to serve the people, but the government's actions do not say that it's there to serve the people. And the gymnastics that sycophants of the two parties have to engage in to pretend that what the government is doing is actually them serving the people. It's laugh out loud funny the best of times. The banks, during the COVID-19 theater, that was the first lockdown that pretty much destroyed our economy. During that, in the first couple of stunt meetings, Colm Imbert made some promises to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I remember he came to one of the meetings naked and oiled down, everything hard and in the air. He was fluffed. You remember that one? Colm, stark naked and glistening, when he come to tell you that the banks, they love us and they want to love us more. So they've called me in the dead of night while I was watching Pornhub. They called me to tell me that we helping your Colm, we helping your government, we helping the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And he rubbed himself down, not with Johnson and Johnson, he rubbed himself down with oil of Olay for that meeting to come and tell you, glistening and shiny, that the banks are deferring your mortgage payments. Well, Trinis breathe a sigh of relief. Because we didn't understand how the lockdown was going to work. The lockdown was going to interrupt the majority of people's income. Not the party card carrying PNM sycophants who were ensconced in public sector jobs, who got their full salary for the duration of the lockdown. Not them. To the average hard-working Trini, who outside there, who not part of the cult, who not part of the tribe, who have a business to run and a job to go to in a private business, all of them panicked. Because basic arithmetic, and we get into basic arithmetic just now, basic arithmetic told us that we're not going to be able to meet these bills ourselves, especially with zero income. So when naked, erect, and fluffed, glistening Colm Imbert told the nation that all is well, the banks that oiled me down, that fluffed me, that blew smoke up my ass before I came to this COVID-19 meeting today, they're waiting to take all of you in the bank after COVID-19, bend you over the counter and blow some of the same smoke up your ass. That's what Colm promised you. Colm promised you that the banks love us. And in an unprecedented gesture, an outpouring of love, the jackassery that came out of that nitwit's mouth. And I knew he was lying. I knew he was lying, but it was COVID-19 and people were supposed to die in large numbers. And I didn't want to distract from the death. I wanted to say, Philip couldn't, because you know it's easy for them to say, because Philip went after, Colm, all them people dead. So I leave it alone. Well, they do all their thing. I leave them to talk the shit. It's only when after they fail with all the crap they was doing and they come with this second wave nonsense, I take Terence the Alsing to task and ask him, where the second wave supposed to come from, Terence, if we locked down 2 months now and the airports closed? Where it coming from? Your mammy and Trinidadians took that and it empowered them because they were feeling that y'all have been talking shit to us for too long. I did that video in the gateway of the Prime Minister's residence. Lies and more lies, and it's in my archives, and you should watch it. Because it's not just Colm, it's not just the Alsing it deals with, it deals with Colm and all of the recusers. And the sudden Kamala and, well, her new crew. Kamala lost her old crew, and Kamala's new crew, they're to burr, 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 as Kamala talk shit. But I tell Kamala, you're not getting away with that shit on my watch. And I'm not supporting Vassan Bharat, and I'm not supporting Devant Maharaj. So I don't know what's going to happen with the leadership of the UNC, or they're probably going to end up back with another drunken rampage as your leadership, but you'll never see government again. Because nobody outside of the Karani belt voting for that shit. We ain't make no Hindu promise that we supporting that. And that's a fact. And Kamala and all her nonsense, when she talk about the gas station, she talk about the gas station leases and the gas station licenses. I said, but Kamala, you were sharing them out like cards and all fours. When you was in government, one of your candidates get a plum gas station in the West. How he end up jump up on the list when people trying to get Maran Eskai dead, waiting 20 years for a gas station license. So how he jump up on that list? And I know, because Marlon Eskai used to run Richmond Street gas station across from the fraud squad. So I know. And Marlon dead waiting for a license. So Kamala couldn't talk that shit. And now Kamala coming back to where I'm going. Don't think I'm getting distracted, but I want you to remember that calm, oil down and wet is not the only asshole we had to deal with, because Kamala is a liar. She's a liar. Faris, when he was new to the world of P&M politics, got Manning to sign a lease for him and his family for an unfinished, unapproved building, 1 Alexandra Place. And they did that surreptitiously in the dark. And we found that out. And we put that information in public space because Kamala came to office, ushered in on a promise of change, of newness. We're going to fix it. Winston Dukaran, Timothy Hamilsmith, Vernon de Lima, and the rest of the Congress and the people was there. So it wasn't just Kamala and crew. This was the People's Partnership, and we were going to have change. We didn't get change because we told Kamala about what Alexandra Place, and Kamala, she didn't have way to study. She was riding on the backs of trucks, joyriding in New York City, looking to boogie with Julia Roberts. She didn't care what we had to say. The same Kamala that Colin Farris and Rawi Al Rental, she can't do that. She don't have the moral authority to do that, because when she could have bust Farris' throat and bust that lease in 2010, she handed to Chandrish. See what you could do there. And they spent $85 million of taxpayers' money outfitting that same building that she come in to talk about 20 million to outfit 3 Alexandra. Kamala, step out of that. The people know you. We remember you. This is not the time where you could have friends in the media who could hide your articles and hide the archives. Social media makes it possible for us to hang all of you on your words. Me too. All my words outside there. Kunumumus think that I don't know that I have pictures of me with my dogs unmuzzled. The jackasses that suffering from a P&M education don't realize the point that they're trying to make. I'm not saying muzzle your dogs for life. I'm not saying staple muzzles to your dogs' heads. I'm saying if you take your dog out in public where there are people other than you and your dogs, muzzle it. When you're alone, unmuzzle it. Unzip, drop your pants, take down your drawers, flash. It doesn't matter because no other people there. Take off your mask. Take off your rosary. Take off all the front and the stunt and take it all off. The muzzle, like the mask, is for when you're around other people. But kunobumus and cats suffering from a P&M education can't understand that. And I keep telling myself when I'm showering, because when I have shampoo in my hair and I take some time and whistle a little bit, not shampoo, conditioner. You know, you put some conditioner and wait a little while for it to marinate into your head. While I'm doing that, to the beat of the water hitting the ground in the shower, I'll be thinking, do I continue this shit, boy? Does it matter? There are far too many assholes in this asshole factory for me to want to continue. The only reason I got involved, I was there with my 2-year-old daughter. Yes, I have a 2-year-old daughter. Even parked cars just get bounced now and then. And we were there. We was going to play a little football because she's a footballer and she like that. She's 2 years old. And then these jackasses pull up and jump out with this beast, and I just wanted to get to my car. They parked 2 cars from mine. And I had to literally throw Bella in the back of the car just to know that she's safe. I was thinking to myself, and I count each step. Each step, because I'm watching the dog and I'm watching the distance. And I panicked, you know. I'm not lying to you. I panicked because I know what that dog could do. Even though them 2 jackasses don't know and telling me it's not on the list. It's on the list all over the world. It's on the list in Russia. You can't import it there. It's on the list in plenty countries that know what that dog is capable of if a Jack Spaniel bite him in the ass right there and then. And you pull that leash and he's ready to move. So I was panicked when I dealt with that situation. It wasn't my best performance, but I wanted to tell them, by Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, and the rest of the pantheon of gods, have some kind of freaking situational awareness. The 2 of all, you can't pull a spaghetti through a macaroni, flimsy and flimsier. That dog will drag all you to hell. And if that dog want to kill somebody, all you could do is cry and moan, and oh God, I'm sorry, it was a powder puff, I didn't think, I didn't know. Real people used to come and rub him. That is always the story. Like the old lady in Pity Valley who 2 days ago, and I'm sorry to say this, but God don't sleep in this country. You don't wear pajamas when it comes to me, you know. When I'm trying to make a point, and it's God point, God will say, look, a little old lady, she get bite up. They take out a breadfruit chunk out of the woman's hamstring. She have diabetes. She being dealt with by doctors every single day now. And the people, her children, telling people, pray for mommy. And pray for the neighbors, the dog owners. Them traumatized too. Why? Why they traumatized? I'll give you a hint. Prior to that attack, they were powder puffs. Babies, googlies. Them can't bite cotton ball. They nearly killed the woman. And the point that I was trying to make to the two jackasses around the savannah and the stupid little dotish friends is that that dog may never bite anything and anybody in its life and live a full, long, powder puff life. But if it is become one of those that trip, it could kill what it set its sights on. It could kill a muscle man. Them dog is not dog like normal dog. The people who breed them dog add some of this and add some of that. They say this is to fight bear. This is to stand up to lion. That's what they breed them dog to do. So you thinking, boy, I will cuff that dog. You ever cuff a bag of cement? You ever cuff a bag of red sand? Cuff it. I telling you. I have a fella named Artie the Freitas who owns Artie's Greengrocers. Artie raised more dog, more Rottweiler and Pitbull in this country than anybody. Talk to Artie. Artie recovering from a stroke right now, and he will tell you. He will tell you himself. He said, Philip, if two of my dogs get away, I ain't going down there by myself. And I ain't going down there unarmed because I know I can't fight them. And I'm my powder puffs. We are wrong too long. You're young. You're young. The little girl and flimsy Ras, then the little romance are seeing it. There's our baby. Let me get a nice baby. Let me go on social media and import one that people will ooh and ah. Don't bring a patong from TSPCA. Look for a Cane Corso, Italian Mastiff. Get one with papers. So all the shit that we are worth nothing, we dog worth something, so we will get something transferred back to we, and people will think that because we dog nice and have papers, we nice and have papers too. I get it. I understand, and I know that I'm making a mockery of you, but I have to do this to expose the bullshit of you. And the most irresponsible son of a bitch in this country, Kriyan Singh, Dr. Kriyan Singh, partner, you go forth from here, you know. I cover you with all the bullshit you ever talk, and I leave you alone. I give you some space and I make some excuses for you. When you was talking about killing yourself, I tell people, give the man a break. When he was talking all your racist nonsense, I say, hey, man must be having his little problems, give him a chance. This, what you trying to do here, what you tried to do was to take me and make me the story to distract from the fact that the people who are you showing yourself with pictures of all kind of powder puffs of your own. But you're in a wheelchair. So if your powder puff turn on somebody, what the ass you going to do? Shout your big mouth behind it, cuss it, call it names, Kriyan, you jackass. And for everybody who toe in your line, call or email a real vet, a real breeder, or a real handler, and they will explain to you why Siegfried and Roy are no longer doing their act in Las Vegas because Roy is damaged for the rest of his life. And his cats were powder puffs until they weren't. And that is all that I am saying. Let's come back to Oil Down Column. We dealt with Kamala, we dealt with the dogs. Let me come back to Naked and Oil Down Column, speaking on behalf of the Bankers Association in full glare of the bright lights of the monitors and TVs, and saying to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the banks love you, they don't hate you, even though when you put your money in the bank, they thief in it from you, and we're calling it fees, we're calling it charges, because it is very hard work to leave a number on an Excel spreadsheet till the next time you come in the bank. That's cost me real man hours. So we gotta tape and nibble, because everybody thinks, every single human being who have an ounce of brain, who have some ambition, is think, how do I get $1 from everybody in the country? The Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago figured it out. They figured it out. Well, you see why I have such a pleasant mood tonight? This is my new cup. Smiley. But the banks lied, or Colm lied, or the both of them ganged up to lie. Because what really transpired was a lie. Colm said, we defer in the mortgage, we defer in the credit card payment, but we didn't understand what he meant by defer. Defer didn't mean that you wasn't going to pay it for 3 months, because that's what everybody heard. But that's not what he said. What everybody heard was for the next 3 months, we're sticking a pin in time. And we're going to wrestle COVID to the ground. We're going to flatten the curve. We're going to give, remember the clap? Ernie Ross and Sabga, come outside and clap. Let's clap. While you making money, the people who catching the ass for their back pay, we clap for them. I said so. I said so. You have to be a rank jackass and an asshole to accept that kind of chain up. But I know the whole world was riding a wave called COVID. So we could do we take and call it COVID too. It was only Philip Edward Alexander was shining a light on all the bullshit. That the doubles, people couldn't sell doubles because that would spread COVID. But they could go in the gas station and buy the doubles for a higher price. And that ain't gonna spread COVID. And I was showing Trinidad and Tobago that the government and its friends who put them in office was using COVID-19 to destroy the small business sector in Trinidad and Tobago, so a handful of Kabbalists could get fabulously wealthy because Tony Sabga not dead. He not dead. He dead, but he not dead. When you have that kind of money, you just go on to a private island where Bruce Lee, Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, Bob Marley, everybody's there. Everybody's there on this magical island because you had money and fame. Tony Sabga not dead. He bounce up his cousin Carlos. Hey, Carlos, what's going on? We have money. We don't have a dead. Malcolm Jones there too, kicking ball, Hafiz, Karamat, everybody liking themselves. And because it have to be for you to be so stinking greedy that you must eat all. I asked today, the new car industry is 4 families, 4 business. The used car industry is 150 families plus employees. The new car industry takes up $800 million in foreign exchange. The used car industry takes up $400 million. Now you tell me, why would you tax the one where the poorer man have access to an investment that he could save, make some money, and put something aside? Why would you attack that one? Because when the used car industry is no more, the new car industry will raise back its price into the fat zone. Now what I want you to know, they want to be back in the fat zone. The extra layer, thick of extra profit, that's what they want. You have them lean right now to the bone. They're doing shit for the staff like employee of the month. Go out there and sell car. Because they have to care, they don't have that layer of fat. Because the used cars outselling them 20 to 1. So they need the government to shut used cars down. Like the government have to pretend that we don't have foreign exchange. So you'll shut Amazon down. An independent senator said, believe it or not, that she wants the government of Trinidad and Tobago to tax Facebook and WhatsApp. Jackass that she is. She wants them to tax Instagram because Trinis are not advertising on Sabga News Network because they're getting it for free. No, ma'am. We pay our money on Facebook. We pay our money on social media to advertise. But even if we weren't getting it free, we're not advertising on Sabga Propaganda Network for no money. If it was free, they could keep it because it's bullshit and it's thought control. And they've been using it to pretend this is news and that isn't. So that when 3 black men get caught, thieving of $50, they face all over the media, where they come from, the street, their dress, their weight, look at them in their vest. But what is a Syrian businessman caught with underage prostitutes on Arapita Avenue, or with underage prostitutes in a house in Westmoreland, or with drugs in their possession? It's an unknown businessman from an unknown location. That's propaganda. That's thought control. Level the play field. Social media does that. And I know it up your ass like a bull below a horse saddle. We had to take that. I mean, you could probably decide tomorrow that you're going to do certain things because Trinis don't know how to riot. They don't know how to riot until, and I don't even think, I think they're stupid to the point you could starve them to death. And in the last breath, great is he, PNM. David Mohammed of the Black Caucus agenda, whatever. David Mohammed is a guy that I like. I want to say I respect him. Some of his thoughts different to mine. But I like David Mohammed, and I want David to hear that I like him. David said in a live video, and he was talking about DSS and their susu, and he was explaining African arithmetic, and that's what he called it. And he made some points where 100 people, or 10 people paying $100, 1,000 people, something where you're paying in 10,000, 100 people at $100 is 10,000, and in 5 weeks you have to pay them 50,000. But every week you're bringing in 50,000, so that's where you're getting the 50,000. And as long as more people, as long as 100 people with $100 come every week, you will get the 50,000. I buy all of that. I buy all of that. Perpetual payment and investment is how the insurance pyramid susu scheme works. That's how it works. Because when they take out the chunk of money from the insurance premium that you pay to go towards all of the directors and them and their fancy house and their fancy car, the rest of the money that's down there can't pay a claim, especially the promises that they made to you, especially those promises. So I know that it has to be based on people coming in and coming in and coming in. The problem with the DSS model is that it pays a fantastic return on investment in a very short space of time. And it challenges even my ability to say, let's see where this goes. Because the only way, the only place for it to go is collapse and catastrophe unless it is laundering drug money. Now, if it is laundering drug money, it won't be the first business empire built in Trinidad laundering drug money. But it'll be the first one that gets in scrutiny from the state authorities early in the game, which begs a question. Because there are a lot of businesses in Trinidad and Tobago that if you contrast and compare them to their contemporaries outside of their cabal who do not have access to the wash of money that they have. And I use the example all the time of companies in Trinidad and Tobago like Sharon Sajuddin and the Sajuddin family in Santa Cruz that make the best roti in the world. They've changed the roti industry, besides the fact that their roti is the most consistent and the best in the world. And yes, if you're married, every now and then your husband will give you a poor performance or your wife will give you a kind of mediocre sex. So the same thing from your roti shop. Don't have higher standards for your roti shop than you have for your husband and your wife. Every now and then you might get a cold roti or a bad roti or a thick. Oh, it's so thick, how the dal puri is so thick, and the peas warm with the potato and dry up inside of here like I eat it. So I tell them once, I say, you sell me a football team. It's only back and wing, where the rest of the side. But generally, Sharon Sajuddin and Roti Cafe in Santa Cruz, tooth bagay, between the police station and the fire station. And she don't give me nothing free, and she don't give me nothing to do this for her. But there's some small people who pushing hard and fighting. And I want to tell the world always, you buying a roti, as drive past 5 well-known roti establishments to go Santa Cruz to buy my roti. All the time. Her family, by now, if they were part of another cabal, they would have had 5 branches by now, at least, deservedly. Because unlike the shit that KFC, Royal Castle, and Ritual sell, this is real good, tasty, homegrown Trinbagonian food. She came up with curry lobster. Nobody was doing that before. And they've consistently done it to the point where people came down in Maraval and opened in Brian Pillai little establishment next to LSD Plaza, right in reach of everybody, a version of a curry lobster, and last 2 days. 2 days. And closed up. She didn't curry oxtail. You ever curry oxtail in a bus shop? Now, same thing. If she had access to money, she would have opened multiple branches by now. Because I keep asking her, why are you not expanding? Michelle Sohan of Bakery Treats, who, for some reason, that pretty little hard-working Indian girl, have her haters. She have her haters. Some jealous-ass people. Now, I will tell you, not everybody gonna like everything you cook. I am a fantastic cook. But some people will eat it and say, what this man was trying to say. What was the point he was trying to make? Because not everybody could eat curry corned beef with breadfruit. I like that. Michelle Sohan and Bakery Treats, what is amazing is that consistently she has gone internationally at her expense and competed with the best in the freaking world and beat them all every time. They took her to Italy, they took her to France, they took her to Sweden. Where else they gonna take this girl? Come and fight we here, come and fight we there. Everywhere they take her, she beat them with this little 2x4 bakery in Chaguanas. And how does the person who is the best freaking cake decorator on the planet can't get money to expand? How is Michelle Sohan not operating a massive thing the size of Kiss Baking Company, training people in Trinidad and Tobago to send more forth into the world? How come? Is it because she's just not part of the right cabal? Because money makes the world go wrong. And I'm coming right back to DSS. If DSS start to change the business model quick and start to open coffee shop and chicken and chips and invest otherwise, buy medical supplies and sell it to the hospital, maybe the one good thing, and I'm saying this with pride, because people who, when I first called out DSS, a lot of black people came on my wall vexed with me because they said, you were the one who told us stand together. You were the one who told black people invest with black people and stand together. And I did, and I have, and I do. Because the black community in Trinidad and Tobago could buy Macaneni Allstons every single month with their combined spend, $50 billion. They could buy Clico twice a month. The black community in Trinidad and Tobago, it is because of them that Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Porsche sells. Because you can't sell one Porsche if you don't sell 100 Yaris. And you can't sell 100 Yaris if you sell 1,000 used B13. That is how economics work. Economics, ironically, is a pyramid. It comes to a point. It works up. And it is the masses at the bottom that makes it possible for those up at the top who are waxing their ass crack with caviar to get that job done. Because it is their single cigarette and sweetie money that combines collectively that fuels the entire economy. So DSS is a living symbol of the power of black money coming together. Now I say in this, I cannot endorse him because I am a brilliant man. I am the brightest man in this room right now. And I know that there is no way that that is sustainable unless he is fortunate, like my cousins, the Sabgas, and a Macal come on the market at fire sale price, and you could take the DSS lump sum and buy it. But I don't know if you're getting that. I don't know. You are at the point now where you're at the foot of the mountain. You have to begin to climb. The summit is in sight. I don't know who is advising and guiding. And if its name is really Drug Susu, partner, you have more balls than a bull. But this is Trinidad and Tobago. And this is a shithole among shitholes. When I tell you we all know Colmline. But if I say that, the courts could quicker have me answering defamation against Colm than having Colm answer for his lies. Because our country not set up to protect the people from the ravaging, gorging of the corrupt and evil governments we've had. Kamala's no different to Pandey, who's no different to Manning, who's no different to Rowley. And they get into office and they're weak people. They are weak people with no belly. So when Keith Rowley say, the rich are to get richer, it's because that jackass was told that. He didn't come up with that. Keith Rowley is a stupid, stupid man. If you ever have an unscripted conversation with Keith Rowley, you wonder how he gets out of the house without a map in the morning. He is an incredibly stupid, idiotic individual. Somebody has their hand up his ass moving his mouth. Keith Rowley is parroting and he says, the rich have to get richer so the poor could have jobs. That's cockery. That's bullshit. A lot of what is going on at the top of our economy is actually blocking Michelle Sohan, Sharon Sajudin, and Hong Wing Coffee, which is plenty better than the bullshit Mario Sabga about serving in his 126 stores. Rituals is piss warm in a cup with some whipped cream to disguise it. Hong Wing Coffee smells better than Rituals tastes, and Hong Wing Coffee tastes better than Rituals and Starbucks combined. But Starbucks and Rituals have access to money that Hong Wing don't have. I used to live spitting distance from Diamond Vale. I grew up almost, my son grew up almost in Rich Plain. We've lived all ends of the spectrum. And on a morning, when they're roasting the coffee in the Hong Wing factory, I used to literally stand by my window and just take in the smell. It was an amazing aroma. And they can't get where they have to go because of Starbucks and because of Rituals. Because Trinis, dotish as we are, we're so easy to chain up. We're so easy. If you ever see a gorilla with sprinted circuit boards and neon lights around the neck, that's how the average Trini looks for their choices. It don't fit, it don't match, but we don't care. Because somebody tell us it's looking good and we looking nice and we like it with freaking self. And that's how we make the decisions that we make, without thinking it through. And it is this that I've been speaking about for all these years. For all these years. Trying to get Trinidadians to do one thing. Question everything. Question everything. Everything. Because in an economy that has been this brutal, some people can't open one branch and some people could open 126 stores. So that means some people have access to credit and finance that the other people don't. Because it is credit and finance that takes the vendor off the street and puts him in a store on Queen Street. It is finance. It's a blind. It's the landlord telling you, take 2 months free and start to pay. It's how you catch yourself and pivot. People tell you, sell some, hold some, invest some, save some, and get ready to double. That's the model. Read The Richest Man in Babylon. That works. But if you have access to unending buckets of wealth, that's an even bigger advantage. But we all know that the banks are taking advantage of the citizens, and we feel weak to stand up against the banks. And the government is corralling the people and forcing them into the banks so that the banks could take advantage of them. That cannot continue. At some point, we are going to have to raise enough money to hire capable lawyers, I have spoken to a couple already, to begin a class action lawsuit against all the banks in Trinidad and Tobago and the Minister of Finance, perhaps even the Central Bank Governor, before a court for the banks to explain why the banking model changed from we take your money and give you some interest, lend out our money and make a bigger interest, and that is how we make money. How it changed to we take your money and charge you for holding it and charge you for using it, charge you for giving it back to you, charge you for working in the bank. We take your money and we still lend it out for fabulous interest, but this time you have no interest to get. At some point, somebody has to explain that. In this country, when Colm said they ain't riot yet, what Colm was trying to say is that Trinidadians and Tobagonians are so stupid that you could separate them. We in a gang up on top, all of we oiling each other and checking each other for lies, except Rowley, he had no hair on his head. But the rest of us oiling each other down properly every single day. Opposition and government combined. Whoever they eat in is the same jackasses making and putting where you want yours. Where you want your share. Come on, Florida. Yours going Florida. Where yours going? Germany, right. Okay, cool. The bagmen out and they're on flights. They're getting your money out. Don't panic. Yours will be there for when you retire. Trinidadians traditionally are assholes. Don't take it wrong. We are assholes because we will stand up with our neighbor and help our neighbor and then bad talk our neighbor. We're assholes. We're not the best people in the world. We're too easy to divide. The greatest lie the devil ever played was telling Africans and Indians that they are each other's problem. Nowhere else on planet Earth are Africans and Indians in anything but harmony. But in this shithole, in Satan belly button, here, we have black people and Indian people struggling with each other for 58 years so that different versions of white people could make off with all of our money. And that's what it takes. Because as long as black people from Beatum could be beaten into a tribal war with a coquille broom by a white-sounding black Rasta man who live in White Hillsborough, up on a hill overlooking Colm, he higher up than Colm, if he could beat them and call them out with a coquille broom, and they dotish and they stupid so, and the rest taking ting tie on their hand and saying, because I tie that, you had a vote for me. Cockery, we going nowhere. We going nowhere. We going nowhere. And not only are we going nowhere, the ones at the very top who are instrumental in one jackass beating the pole with a coquille broom and the other jackass tying shit on your hand, they're going all the way. Them winning the game. Every single time the PNM fired UNC contractor, say he involved in collusion, money laundering, corruption, and hired that same contractor and give him a bigger contract. So tell me, aren't we assholes? Aren't we assholes? The same PNM people that cuss Gary, they cuss Gary when he was in the UNC. He don't have no style, he don't have no fashion, he is garrulous Gary, he just talk too much, they cuss Gary. And then Rowley called Gary for commissioner and police. But we love Gary, Gary's the best. Or like, don't touch Gary, like we Gary. And now the same jackass Rowley fall out with Gary. Boy, Gary's a mother ass. We tell them don't put Gary there. That's PNM and UNC people for you. Assholes, jackasses. All it takes is a dog whistle and you're going. Gypsy, he's a crook. He 100 mattress. He take all the money under his house. Gypsy, he with we. Gypsy's a boss. Sing a extempo there for we not gyps. We can't be assholes. We can't be assholes and get anywhere. We all know the laws don't work for us. And that's us. We all know that. There are people in business that know. And the day something other than the PNM and the UNC get into office that really want to seek justice in this country, everybody will talk. And the amount of information that will come out, the people who are getting away with crime in this country will have to run to the far corners of the world to escape just the shame of all the time that you were stunting with your Porsches and your Prados and your house at the top of the hill. We didn't actually know how you got there. But all of the people at the bottom of your own personal pyramid who've taken your shit, dribbling down on them for all those decades, now that they have a chance to actually have a chance for themselves without blowing you up and blowing your sails, when they expose you, you will have to run and you will have to hide. Because Trinidadians will call for blood. Trinidadians don't know what's been done to them. They have no clue. And they're proud. This is a country that would have beat Toussaint Louverture to death and safeguard Massa. The slaves in this plantation, black and Indian and poor, all of us, the slaves in this plantation will find a hole in the fence in the dark of night and go and wake Massa up. Boy, you had to see this. I don't know who's responsible for that hole, but we need to fix it. So, what I'm about to say may fall on deaf ears. I have nothing personal against Flimsy Ras and his little red girl. And the dog, I have nothing, but y'all could breed them. Y'all could have 50 in your house. I have no problem with you and that. I have a problem with you putting other people at risk. It is the same way I stood up and fought for the Dangerous Dog Act that dog owners and dog breeders cuss me for, because there are people who used to advertise on social media. This one is Hercules, son of Zeus. Zeus mate with so-and-so. Who killed that man that you hear about in Four Roads? That is how vicious this bloodline is. And people buying dog based on humans that somebody in the bloodline killed. And not realizing the shit that it is that they're doing. So somebody had to stand up and fight. Now, what Anand Ramlogan and them wrote wasn't the best version because they went to try and seek consensus. You cannot seek consensus in leadership. In leadership, you have to say, listen, flimsy ass, you and your girl, there's the deal. There's the deal. Walk your dog without a muzzle. But if it bites anybody, ever, the charge is attempted manslaughter. And if it kills somebody, then it's a manslaughter charge. And you and your little red girl will go to jail for a large part of your life. And if you're okay with that, strip down and run. Because the average citizen will know that they're protected. That if your dog bites somebody, it's an attempted manslaughter charge. And if it kills somebody, it's a manslaughter charge. And all of a sudden, people will build stronger fence and better gates for their own dogs. And they won't take the risk. Honey, we can't go around the savannah because the dog might bite somebody. The same jackassholes who fought me on this point, if they had consequences to their stupidity, they wouldn't take those chances. But this is not a real country. Here, assholery reigns. If it was a real government, we will say, okay, everything above 20 pounds, because Krian Jackass Singh will tell you a chihuahua could bite you, it could maul my ankle. And if I sit down and I leave him to maul, I am sure if I see a mosquito biting me and I don't move, it will drink until it busts. A little dog, I have had, you see, I tell people how much I love my dogs. And I don't want to say that. You could go on Facebook and look for Snoopy Alexander. Check how old his Facebook page is. Snoopy Alexander is, that page is about 20 years old. Snoopy was one of our Pumpex and he was my boy. Every time I going out for a drive, I open the door, Snoopy jump in and he's my shotgun. Baddest, he think he was a Rottweiler. He's sick, about 8 inches tall. Ask Reese Lewis about him. Jump out the car in Maracas and a BMW run over him and he's normal. Snoopy bite me and scar me. I cuff Snoopy in his face. Snoopy walk off. And he watch me, showing me his teeth. And both of we come away from that conversation knowing Snoopy could bite and Snoopy know Philip could cuff. So we had a kind of peace. But if that was an Italian Mastiff, that for some reason, because Snoopy was my powder puff. Ask Charlene Ali in the last of his days, he lived by her, slept on her bed. Snoopy was a real powder puff. But he tripped and bit me once. And if that was an Italian Mastiff, and it bit me, and I cuff him, you all would be singing slow in black. Because I can't fight that dog. And that's the only point. It is the only point. Krian, you're an asshole. Krian, you're an asshole. You're a jackass. Krian Singh, you're a fool. You're an absolute rotted asshole. Whoever gave you that vet degree, they have money for you. I want to tell you something, brother. You didn't help anybody by the shit you talk. You didn't help a single soul. And my skin, over these years of being an activist, I get crocodile leather skin. I could take just about anything. But I want to tell you something. You're a rank asshole. And you've led people astray. And at some point, somebody going to die because of your foolishness. But I could sleep at night knowing that since the Dangerous Dog Act was passed, nobody ended. And that is this woman in Pity Valley, those people responsible to her, and they're going to have to answer for that as a crime under the Dangerous Dog Act. It needs to be better. But prior to the Dangerous Dog Act, a police officer in Twin City or McCoy had 7 pit bull. Only remember Mother's Day, a mother leave home in either Twin City or McCoy. Look it up. Prior to the Dangerous Dog Act, a police officer, 7 pit bull. And people tired telling me fence too flimsy for them dog. And this mother, on Mother's Day, put on her amalgamated security uniform and walking to get the bus. Mother's Day, leave her children home to go and work as a security guard. And this police officer, 7 pit bull, leave the yard and kill the woman dead. Steve Ferguson of Maritime, renting a house from Robert Amar in Knightsbridge, his dog get away and kill a Rasta man. A couple weeks later, somebody dog in Four Roads, Pitbull, kill an ex-Rasta man, and both of them Rasta man had the same name. It was something like Edward Charles. You could Google that and all. And that was going on in this country because we had a proliferation of dogs. When the Dangerous Dog Act was finally passed, them same people who love the powder puff, throw the dog in the road. That people talking is because of the Dangerous Dog Act. No, it's because of cocks and assholes that never really loved the dog. The dog was a stunt. And now that there is responsibility and consequence to ownership, fire truck the dog. Don't blame the act. The act made it so everybody going forward from this little spate of assholes abandoning their dogs, because that will come to an end. But the act will make it so that everybody else who takes a dog like that would have the common sense to know, I have a dog that is potentially dangerous and I need to be responsible with it. Except these two assholes, Flimsy Ras and the little red girl. And I hope and pray that my words don't be prophetic, that dog don't turn on them or somebody they love. As long as it is not an innocent, and you hear her, that ass on the video, it's not on the list. It's not on the list. Go and research Cane Corso. Go and see what that dog known for. Go and see why that dog banned in places in the world. That dog will make mincemeat of a pit bull. Go and see why they have countries in the world that you can't own it. The actual court have to give you a dispensation for you to own that dog. Krian can't explain why security companies don't have Chihuahuas and Pekingese on leash. He can't explain why. But they will have Cane Corso and they will have Pitbull, they'll have German Shepherd. It's not that Pekingese and Chihuahua can't bite. You can't sick, take him. It's not that. It's that this will kill. And people buying what will kill. But you're missing the point, Krian. And you let me down. And I want to tell you from today, you're a rank asshole. I never want to have another word with you again in life. You're a jackass. I covered you through all your shit. And you made a mockery of yourself. You piss yourself. You shit the bed so many times as a politician and as an activist. And I cover for you. And I tell people, nah, leave him. I never say a bad word about Krian Singh. And he talk some real shit. He talk all kind of shit. But you see now, consider it over, partner. You're on your own. I love dogs. But I am a responsible dog owner. The kulumumus that going on my wall that finding my pictures with my son's dogs and holding them. They have one of them in the middle. His name is Peanut. He's a mutant husky. He's massive. When I tell you, hold that dog to walk with him, you feel like you're trying to hold back a truck. We can't put him in public at all. We wouldn't dare try. And he's a baby. He's a powder puff. But if, Jesus Christ, if that lose his mind, for a minute, it's all over. We, ask Kaifa, ask Josh, when we're going to walk dog, it's after 9 o'clock in the night. One night we walk in, the three of them, Collie, Peanut, Charlie, walking all three in fairways. And we see a security guard walking Derek Chin Rottweiler. And we see it up the road. And we turn and went somewhere else. And make a long way around. I hear Bella calling me. She's saying, Daddy, you're doing this live too long. And we have places to go. So I want to say to Trinidad and Tobago, tonight, at the bottom of this live again, is something called the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I don't know work, a end, a girlfriend, a job. This is one last try. If we could unite, red, white, black, green, and every shade in between, as one people under one flag, and stand up to the government, and you'll see what that means. This morning, we again acted for people. And the Citizens Union and myself are quite capable. But you will see what we are also capable of next week. It was supposed to serve today, but Satish had to stay home and babysit because his wife is a doctor and she worked late, and he had to take care of the children and their schooling because the jackass in charge create an online system that doesn't account for how the parents are going to actually be able to live their lives. Another story for another time. We'll be serving it on Monday. And this is the start. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, stop sitting on your ass. Stop talking shit. Stop eating popcorn. Stop being a meme sharer and a joke maker. And start to be responsible for this democracy. Forget those who breathing poison into your air. Look how they're benefiting. Check and see what's their connection to the cabal. And those who pass into them. You who have your family and your loved ones to plan for and to provide for, wake to hell up and join this pack that is really stronger together. Enjoy your weekend. If I do a live tomorrow, we will talk some more. I don't know. This takes a lot of energy out of me. But until tomorrow.